friends, welcome back. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. I wanted to share with you this week my genre blanket plans for 2023. Last year, I had so much fun crocheting this blanket, and it was nice to make something for me to keep that's going to be hard to pass on to anyone else because it's very specific to me and my reading choices for 2022. I'm going to try to keep it around the same size. And with my goal of 100 books for 2023, it should end up around the same since I read 107 last year. One of the differences that I'm planning on doing this year is some genres as I look back over my blanket. There were some genres that I wanted to tweak a little bit. And then there were some colors I wanted to tweak because they were too close to other colors. And so let's jump in with the color choices. The first I have is for sci-fi. I went with this blue again. I just really like the color. It's a gorgeous color. Works up well. Fits with a lot of my house colors. And just, it reminds me of outer space and the colors that you might see out there. The next color is also a color I kept the same. This is the forest green that I used for fantasy novels. So many of my fantasy novels take place in forest, so this seemed like a great color for that. The next one is one that I made a little bit of a change to. In 2022, I used this dark gray color for thrillers. This year, I'm going to use this dark gray for mysteries because the light gray and the dark gray they were too close in color for me. So I kept gray for mysteries and I got black for thrillers. Most of the thrillers I read kind of overlap, so I wanted a color, they're mystery slash thriller. So I wanted colors that were in the same color wheel, but one darker than the other. Most of my thrillers are a very darker theme than my mystery, so it got black. Another color that's the same this year, oops, if I can, is this red for my horror. Last year I read mostly horror in October, so there's kind of like this red patch in the middle, or toward the end of it, this red stripe. Lots of fun. Very bright color, reminds me of blood. Why not, right? It's horror, let's go for it. This year it'll be a little different because the 72-hour readathon coming up. So red will probably, or I know it will appear earlier in the year. The next two colors also are the same from last year. The first is this medium blue color. This is what I used for contemporaries. So in this year I did make a little bit of a change. A lot of my contemporaries that were closed door romance, a lot of my closed door romance I stuck under contemporary because they didn't really fit the feel that I was going for with that, but they were still romance. And that was one of those that I didn't really like. So this year, this will just be contemporaries, not necessarily romance. The next color that I also kept the same was this light sage. I'm using this again for historical novels. For some reason, when I look at this color, it reminds me of more of a historical or a color that we would see in older times. So I loved it and am keeping it this year. The two colors that I kind of split romance up, and I alluded to that when I talked about contemporaries, is romance. I now have an open door romance and a closed door romance. Closed door romances are those stories that the spicy scenes happen off the screen. And for that, I chose this amethyst color. Really pretty color. And just, it's more of a, I don't even know the right word. It doesn't hold the same. So, as far as how dark the open door romances are, which I kept in this really dark purple. Most of the open door romances are kind of more of a dark theme, so I liked keeping the dark purple for that. These last two colors are ones that I changed due to how close they looked to other colors. For my graphic novels, instead of doing a blue-green color that kind of, it looked very similar to the historical, it looked similar to the mysteries. So I went with a very different color this year, and I chose this sun gold color for my graphic novels. And so it'll be a very obvious color when you're looking at it, as far as this is a graphic novel. And then my last one is for my other category. This would be nonfictions, anything that didn't really seem to fit in these other genres. And this year I went with white. It's kind of hard to see because of the way the light's shining on it. I did choose white, and instead of that linen color that I did last year, which ended up looking a lot like the grays. For another change that I was making this year is I've decided, instead of doing the moss or linen stitch that I did last year, I'm just going to crochet straight across. But I'm going to do a little bit of a twist because of something I wanted to keep track of. And that is how thick my stitches are. For if you do any crocheting, there are three kind of main stitches that you can do straight across, and that stitch size. We have single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet. So for my single crochet, I'm going to stick that with my middle grades. So if it's a really thin row, I'll know that it was a middle grade. If it's a young adult, I'll use a half double crochet, and then for adult, I'll use a double crochet. And then I did make a small little swatch of my colors all together, so kind of give me an idea of what the colors will look like together. But there you have it. Quick little video on what I plan to do for my blanket for 2023. So there you have it, friends. There's my blanket plans for 2023 and the start of the blanket since it is the end of January when I'm recording this so that you can see what the start of it looks like. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing to help my page grow, I would appreciate it. I'll see you soon.